We flew a mission to a place called Plauen. Now, Plauen is a railroad station for a very famous German city. But as we were making our bomb run, two things happened. We were in the soup, and we went through another formation like this. And I remember looking and seeing the other formation at our altitude coming over, and I went down a little bit, and we went right over, and the ball turret gunner was terrified, looking right at me as he went over, and we were able to miss each other. And at that point, in my earphones, it said, Woodcraft Able leader to all Woodcraft Able children, bandits in the area. That meant there were German fighters in the area. And these fighters were the German Me-262, which was a German jet fighter which could go at 500 miles an hour, which was 150 miles an hour faster than our fighter planes could go. And we had no answer to the Me-262 except sheer weight of numbers. So 5 Me-262s came and went through the wing. Each one shot down one B-17 and went back home. Now, the Germans were so short of fuel at this point that they used horses to pull the Me-262s out to the end of the runway, and when they landed back at the end of the runway, they had horses to pull the Me-262 back to the hangar because to save gas. But each Me-262 could always shoot down a B-17. So my sixth mission was to Berlin. And Berlin at that time was the most heavily defended target in the world. We lost 26 four-engine bombers on this mission. And my 12th mission was to Berlin again, and we lost 24 four-engine bombers, B-17s and B-24s. So on my two missions to Berlin, we lost 50 four-engine bombers. But we had 1,000 bombers, so that is how we were able to do it. Now, of the planes that got shot down, about half were shot down by flak and half were shot down by Me-262s. Now, on that sixth mission to Berlin, we had an old airplane in the group that was setting an 8th Air Force record for the most missions flown without a mechanical abort, no mechanical failures. So before the mission, the squadron commander called me into his office and he says, "You're going to be flying this plane, which is called April Girl II." And he said, "It has 108 missions without a mechanical abort, and the crew chief has gotten a medal for it so far, and we're trying to go for a record. If you bring this airplane back with a mechanical abort, the wings better fall off when it lands on the runway." So I had the message. Well, this airplane was still painted olive drab. All the other airplanes were just silver. So that meant a 4-mile-an-hour difference in the airspeed, and particularly the stalling speed. Before we dropped the bombs, or just after we dropped the bombs, we were at 26,000 feet over the middle of Berlin. You could look right down and see Tempelhof Aerodrome. Our target had been the railroad repair shops next to Tempelhof. And we were making turns, and I was on the inside of the turn. And I had an airspeed problem, and my right wing stalled out. And I did 3/4 of a turn of a spin right over the middle of Berlin. Well, I had lain awake at night thinking, what would I do if this happened? What would I do if this happened? And I knew exactly what to do. I knew which way I was spinning, so I knew that it was the right wing that had stalled out. So I pulled the throttles back on the left wing, ran the throttles forward on the right wing, and then dumped the stick so that I dived. And I came out of the spin, but I had fallen 1,200 feet. If I'd let the spin wind up to the point where I wouldn't have been able to come out of it, that would have been the end. But I was able to climb back up and complete the mission. But after that, I went to the operations officer and I said, "I can't fly this airplane. It's too stiff on the controls and I don't trust it. So I flew another airplane. The name of the airplane was April Girl II. And the reason was that the pilot's wife was expecting a baby in April. Well, April Girl I was shot up over Germany and landed in the North Sea, but the crew was rescued by Air Sea Rescue, and so the next airplane was named April Girl II. The baby arrived and was a boy. So this was an airplane that was just jinxed from A to Z. I mean, it was named after something that never happened, and I wouldn't fly it again. I noticed after we came back to the States that April Girl II had made it back to the States, so it survived the war.